Welcome one and all to the Carpe Diem webcast, where we ask entrepreneurs, founders and leaders of high growth businesses the questions that you want answers to. So with no further ado, let's ask our first question. Could you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is Benjamin Hall. I'm the owner and managing director of LOFT Interiors, and we provide residential furnishing solutions for residential property professionals.
What is it that you love most about being in business and working with brands, Ben?
I suppose the best part of it is the friendships that you build and the fellowships and the trust that you build amongst your customers and your supply chain and your staff. I think that a lot of the best friends that I now have come out of owning and running this company. And that doesn't just mean that it's in England, it's in China and Malaysia and India and Poland and Latvia and all over the country. So it's really nice way to make friends. And if you can do business with the people that you like, then your business becomes much easier.
I agree. What are the challenges that you're facing currently, and what have you seen that your customers are facing, and what are you planning or implementing to overcome those?
I think with COVID and the lockdown, health and safety is a huge issue. We provide an installation solution for property developers. We install furniture and accessories, and making sure that the furniture and the delivery guys arrive to the property safely, and that we leave the property in a safe and habitable state has been a challenge because it's changed part of our process. Also, the way in which that we receive goods and send goods out has changed. And I think that everybody's got health and safety concerns. I think that's the big piece, because nobody wants to be seen as not taking it seriously, but at the same time, you've got to balance the commercial aspects of that. And our management and our relationships of our supply chains is probably our biggest strength. And because of the relationships that I just spoke about in terms of friendships and fellowships, you know, we're getting a lot of favors from our supply chain now, which is going to set us apart from our competition, because there are going to be serious supply chain issues. You can't just lock down manufacturing and expect the goods to just arrive out of thin air. There is a long process, and all the factories have got to change their health and safety procedure too. So there will be a slowdown, and I think that is the biggest challenge, but that is also how we can help our clients and our partners. If you've got a good relationship with LOFT, then we've got stock for you.
No, understood. And is that really where the advice that you might give to fellow high growth businesses stems from, that leveraging of relationships? Or what would you say is most important?
I think the most important thing, if you run your own business, is to believe in yourself. I think that, you know, so many people worry about what they might lose. I think if you focus entirely on what you might gain, obviously don't go into it with your eyes closed, but the whole thing's about belief. And I think that people all along the way will tell you, you can't do that, you can't do that. And you'll find the one reason out of 100 why it can't be done. Don't focus on the reason why it can't be done. Focus on the reason why it can be done, and cross every bridge as you come to it. I think having faith in yourself is the most important part of business, no matter what anybody says.
And has that come from any thinkers or influencers on your past that you could reference, that perhaps the viewers could look up?
I think that, you know, I thought about this question when you sent it over, and I want to answer it honestly. I grew up in the 90s. Hip hop culture was massive around 15, 16 years of age. And this was when the sort of hip hop entrepreneurs like Jay-Z and Puff Daddy were coming out. And if you listen to what those guys say, you know, they talk about fear being a man-made emotion, and they talk about how they deal with fear. And obviously I didn't come from quite the same environment as those guys came from, but I certainly have not come from a particularly wealthy or privileged background. So I took inspiration from those guys about, you know, really sort of digging it out from nothing and trying to become a corporate business, and not being ashamed of who you are or where you're from, and sort of representing that honestly. And it sort of builds brand equity. Manchester people are hardworking people, and my company's, you know, we represent Manchester, and just like those guys represent New York, whatever.
No, I think that's entirely true, and I've seen you demonstrate that in person. So, tell us how it all began. Tell us about that first sale and how perhaps that reflects where you are now and what you would like the sales to be like going forward. What can you take from your first sale and inform your next?
The company's grown like so much. I think I've been working in a sales environment since I was 13, 14. My father had a shop. He used to sell antique furniture and secondhand furniture. So I got experience of communicating with people from a very early age. I started this business with a £15,000 student loan and opened a shop. And, you know, for the first 3-4 days, nobody even came inside the shop. You know, it was nerve wracking and I was waiting for the phone. I mean, I set it up in 2003. So like, you know, having a computer and having the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So it was like I had the yellow pages and I had a phone and I was waiting for people to come through the door. And the first sale, like the lady came in and chose her furniture. And then she waited like 3 days before she placed the order. And I was like, you know, it was like butterflies. And then when it happened, I did the delivery because at that time I was selling it, building it, delivering it all by myself with my dad. So it's a huge relief when somebody actually buys something. I think that the first project that we won in the student sector, sorry, we're on an industrial estate here, it's going a bit crazy. Yeah, we won a big student contract with the Mansion Group going back to like 2007, 2008, and you know, filling out a tender document and working out all of those questions about the intricacies of your business financially and, you know, your processes and your RAMs and your method statement and all of that stuff is a huge learning curve, you know, and the hurdles just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Recently, we just won our biggest ever contract, 2,000 apartments for Dandara Living. And that sale took like 18 months to go through. So, you know, you think that sales are just different on all different levels, but I think that you have a lot of hope invested in not necessarily a pitch, but more that they have faith in you to be able to deliver what it is that you say that you're going to do. And you know, thankfully, we've always delivered.
Well, Ben, I'm just checking the clock to see if there's an opportunity, as there should be, for you to tell us a little bit more about LOFT and why our viewers should investigate the new offer.
Okay, so we are known in the industry for providing high intensity, high volume installation projects in very short periods of time. We made our name in the student sector in the last recession, and with the emergence of build to rent, we started to move our business in more of an interior design space. I think that we've employed a very talented team of interior designers who are all sort of acutely aware of the impact of design upon human behavior and the formations of communities and the sense of safety and biophilia and well-being. And I'm really excited about the future because the developers now, like when I first started the business in 2003, landlords just wanted to buy the cheapest possible option. Now the institutional investors are actually looking to provide their residents with a really comfortable home for a long period of time as the attitude towards renting sort of becomes a lifestyle choice rather than, you know, you have to own a house. You don't have to own a house anymore. You can get a better designed apartment in a block of flats where, you know, you can get to know the other people that live amongst you and the you know, good operators, and there's quite a few of them out there now, are fully focused on building a community, you know, within student accommodation and young professional and sort of multifamily. And that sense of community will help, certainly, you know, off the back of what's happened with COVID, whereby if you feel like you're all together and you can all help one another through a difficult time, design has an impact on that, and that is the direction that LOFT are going to go in, and that's quite exciting for me. Because
bless you, thank you for that, Ben. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you for your time, and perhaps sign off with a reiteration of the fact that we're here to build a community that is informed by design as well. Ours is just digital design. So if you'd like us to interview someone that you think is inspirational, like Mr. Hall here, then please let us know in the comments below.